Let me ask you a simple question. Where are you spending your attention? Now, I didn't ask what you want. I asked where your attention goes. Because where your attention goes, your life follows. The major key to your better future is you, but only if you're paying attention. In today's world, distraction is cheap. It's everywhere. It's loud. It's seductive. And it costs you everything. You see, progress doesn't just require effort. It requires focus, laser focus, steady focus, not just for a few minutes, but day after day until your goal bends to your will. But most people, they never get there. Not because they're not talented, not because they don't have potential, but because they're distracted. It's not that life is short, it's that we waste so much of it. You start a project, then you check your phone. You write down your goal, then scroll for an hour. You say you want discipline, but you let distraction run your day. That's the enemy. Not failure, not criticism, but the little things that pull your eyes from the prize. So if you're ready to win, if you're ready to turn effort into results, you've got to fight for your focus. You've got to guard your attention like it's the key to your future. Because it is. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day, while failure is a few errors in judgment repeated every day. One keeps you focused. The other keeps you frustrated. So let's talk about the one thing you must conquer. The enemy of progress. Distraction. Let me tell you something most people never realize. Distraction is more dangerous than failure. More subtle. More silent. But far more devastating. Failure is loud. It shouts. It teaches. Distraction, it whispers. And it steals. See, when you fail, you know it. You feel it. It hurts. And it gets your attention. But distraction feels harmless. A scroll here. A notification there. Just 5 minutes. Again and again. But what you don't realize is this. Distraction doesn't destroy your life all at once. It erodes it. Inch by inch. Until one day you look up and the dream has faded. The energy is gone. The momentum has disappeared. And you wonder, where did all that time go? Distraction isn't obvious. It doesn't come with warning signs. It doesn't scream danger. No, it disguises itself as entertainment, as rest, as just taking a break. And in the process, it eats your focus. It steals your clarity. It weakens your discipline. And it quietly removes the one thing you cannot replace. Time. You can get more money. You can get more friends. But you cannot get more time. Once it's gone, it's gone. Now failure is a teacher. It tells you, this didn't work. So you adjust, you learn, you grow. But distraction teaches nothing because most people don't even notice it happening. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Distraction never asks, hey, do you mind if I steal an hour of your life today? It just takes it. Quietly. Repeatedly. You were going to study. You were going to write. You were going to build something today. But first, a little scroll. Then a quick check-in. Then maybe just a short video. And now the moment is gone. The spark is gone. The work didn't get done. Not because you failed, but because you got distracted. You almost started. You almost showed up. You almost stuck with it. But instead, distraction. And distraction breeds average. It keeps you close to your goal, but never in it. It makes you feel busy, but you're not effective. It makes you feel tired, but you've built nothing. And then you blame yourself. You say, maybe I'm not disciplined. Maybe I'm not good enough. But it wasn't you. It was your attention. It was stolen. And you didn't even see it happen. Let me give you a picture. Imagine you're flying a plane and the nose of the plane is off by just 1 degree. Not much. You wouldn't notice it at first. But fly for 1 hour, you're miles off course. Fly for 5 hours, you land in the wrong country. Now listen carefully. That's what distraction does. Not today, not tomorrow, but over weeks, months, years. It takes your life off course. Quietly, slightly, tragically, a few errors in judgment repeated every day will eventually lead you to failure. Not big decisions, just small distractions, one after another, until the life you were meant to build becomes the life you never lived. 1 hour lost each day to distraction, 365 hours a year. That's over 15 full days of your life gone, wasted on things that don't matter, stolen by things you don't even remember. Now imagine 10 years of that. That's 150 days of your life gone. Now imagine if you'd use those 150 days to read, to build, to master your craft, to build your health, to write the book, to start the business, to mentor your child. Can you see the cost now? Can you feel it? You want progress? You want to succeed? You want to become great? Then the first step is to become aware of what's stealing your time. The greatest value you can bring to your life is awareness. Zebra the breedy. Notice what grabs your attention and question it. Ask yourself, does this move me forward? Does this build the life I want? Or is this just noise stealing my potential? Because if you don't protect your focus, no one else will. Let me say it straight. Distraction is not harmless. It's not funny. It's not just life. Distraction is a thief, a liar, and an enemy to everything you could become. If you want to succeed, you must fight for your focus. You must guard your time like a treasure. You must learn to say no to the noise so you can say yes to the vision. Either you run the day or the day runs you. The world is full of distractions. But so what? So is every battlefield. And that's what this is. A battle between the life you could live and the distractions that would rather you didn't. So today, I challenge you. Stop letting distraction steal your future and start reclaiming your attention. One decision at a time. Let me ask you something personal. What is your attention really worth? Not what you think it's worth, but what you trade it for day after day. You see, your attention, that precious invisible thing you carry around every moment, is the most valuable asset you have. More valuable than your money, more valuable than your car, more valuable than the house you live in. Because wherever your attention goes, your life goes. Your attention is the steering wheel of your destiny. And if you give it away cheaply, you'll live a cheap life. Not because you meant to, but because you traded gold for garbage without even knowing it. Now here's a hard truth most never learn. Every time you give your attention to something meaningless, you're stealing from something meaningful. You trade focus for fleeting entertainment. You trade discipline for distraction. You trade your future for a few moments of comfort. And these trades, they're not obvious. They feel harmless. A short scroll, a second glance, a little delay. But time after time, choice after choice, you build a life of compromise. You build a life that's reactive, not intentional. Busy, but not productive. Fast, but not forward. And then you wonder, why am I not getting results? Why am I stuck? Why does life feel so noisy? Your life feels noisy because you've never learned to silence the meaningless. You don't just give your attention, you spend it. You spend attention like you spend money. But unlike money, you never get it back. Ever. Let's do the math. 10 minutes lost to distraction today? That's 10 minutes you didn't use to improve, to write, to plan, to connect with your family, to think, to grow. Now multiply that by a year, then multiply it by 10. You didn't lose time. You spent your future, 1 minute at a time, on things that meant nothing, to people who don't care, for results you don't even want. The price of attention is paid in the currency of your potential. Let me give you a lesson that changed my life. You don't need more time. You need better focus. Because the truth is, you already have time. 24 hours in a day. Same as the successful. Same as the wealthy. Same as the wise. But what makes the difference? How you invest those hours. Where you direct that energy. Most people scatter their focus, trying to be everywhere, do everything, respond to everyone, but the mind isn't made for that. You can't pour energy into your vision while checking notifications every 10 minutes. You can't build greatness with a distracted mind. Multitasking is the enemy of mastery. Choose one thing, focus deeply, finish what you start, then move on. That's how progress is made. Now, here's a powerful truth. Whatever you give your attention to grows. You focus on problems, they get bigger. You focus on excuses, they multiply. You focus on your goals, they get clearer. You focus on your habits, they become stronger. So be careful where you look. Be careful where you listen. Be careful what you let into your mind, because what you feed grows. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Don't let cheap distractions steal your most valuable resource. Because when you give something your attention, you give it your power. And that's a high price to pay for something that doesn't serve your future. So how do you protect your attention? How do you stop wasting your future on things that don't move you forward? Start with awareness. Begin noticing what's stealing your time, your phone, your television, your endless need to check what everyone else is doing. Then do the brave thing. Say no, not because you're rude, but because your future matters, because your peace matters, because your mission matters. Discipline is remembering what you want. So remove the noise, silence the distractions, and invest your attention like it's your life savings, because it is. Success is built one choice at a time, but all of those choices begin in one place. Your attention. If you can master that, you can master your day, your habits, your goals, your life. So be intentional, be present, be ruthless about what you allow to take space in your mind. Whatever has your attention has your future. So ask yourself, what are you giving your future to? Because once you give your attention, you can't take it back. So choose wisely, live wisely, and remember, the price of attention is high, but the return on focus is extraordinary. Let me ask you a question. Who's really driving your life right now? Is it you, or is it the apps? The news? The endless opinions from people who don't even know you? You see, distraction doesn't just steal your time. It steals your authority. Either you control your mind, or someone else will. Now that might sound a little dramatic, but think about it. When you wake up, what's the first thing you do? Do you reach for your vision or your phone? Do you begin the day with purpose or with noise? Because whatever captures your mind first usually controls it for the rest of the day. And that, my friend, is how a powerful mind becomes a passive one. Now listen carefully. Your mind is like a garden. It will grow something. The question is what? If you don't plant the right seeds, the weeds grow by default. And in today's world, those weeds are everywhere. Distractions, gossip, drama, endless scrolling, pointless arguments, fear. And the sad truth is, most people spend more time consuming noise than creating value, more time reacting than responding with wisdom, more time following than thinking for themselves. And then they wonder why they feel lost, why progress feels hard. You must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. That is something you have charge of. So how do you take back control? You begin by guarding your mind. You say, no, I don't need to know every headline. No, I don't need to scroll every hour. No, I don't need to let everyone's energy into my space. You choose selectivity over sensory overload. You filter what gets in, because not everything deserves your energy. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everything deserves your focus. Learn to say no without explaining yourself. Your peace depends on it. Remember, a distracted mind cannot lead a focused life. You'll never hear your inner wisdom. In the middle of chaos, clarity doesn't come from more noise. It comes from creating space. You've got to make time to be alone with your thoughts, to reflect, to plan, to journal, to ask yourself the deeper questions. What matters most to me? What do I really want? Who am I becoming? And let me tell you this, you can't answer those questions while refreshing your feed every 5 minutes. Give yourself time to think. It's how you access your highest self. One of the best ways to take back control, start your day with intention before the world tells you what to think, before the notifications arrive, before the demands flood in. Give yourself 10 minutes, 10 minutes to reflect, to write down your goals, to revisit your vision, to breathe, to own the day before it owns you. Because you don't rise to the level of your desires, you fall to the level of your systems. Create a morning system that starts your engine, not theirs. Now, I'm not saying block everything out. You still need to live in the world. You still need to work, to communicate, to stay aware. But you don't need to consume everything. You don't need to respond to everything. You don't need to follow everything. Be in the world, but not of the world. Your mind is not a garbage bin. Don't treat it like one. Don't let junk steal your joy. Don't let noise drown your genius. Don't let constant interruption rob you of deep work. Take the wheel. Be intentional. And stop handing the keys of your life to things that don't matter. Let me wrap this up with something simple and powerful. You are not your distractions. You are not your notifications. You are not your impulses. You are the driver. And it's time to take the wheel back. It's time to shut the noise out and tune your spirit in. Time to leave the chaos behind and build clarity on purpose. Because when you do, your mind becomes your ally. Your attention becomes your power. And your focus becomes your freedom. Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Guard your mind. Take charge of your focus. That's how progress begins. Let me share something simple, but life-changing. Your mind is like a muscle. It can get stronger, or it can get weaker, but it never stays the same. Just like your body needs resistance to grow, your mind needs discipline to sharpen. And focus, listen. Focus is not a gift. It's not a personality trait. It's not something you're born with. It's something you train, something you earn, something you practice. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Most people today, they're not lacking talent. They're not lacking ambition. They're just mentally soft. And it's not their fault entirely. The world today is built to reward impatience. Quick likes, fast replies, instant results. But listen, greatness isn't built in the fast lane. It's built in the quiet, in the resistance, in the discipline. So when people say they can't focus, what they really mean is, I haven't trained for it. Just like you wouldn't expect to lift 200 pounds without weeks or months of training, you can't expect long-lasting focus without building it one rep at a time. So how do you build focus like a muscle? You practice it daily, intentionally. Start with 10 minutes. That's all. Pick one task. Turn off the noise. No checking. No switching. Just 10 minutes of full attention. It sounds easy, but it's not. You'll feel the urge to check, the urge to scroll, the itch for something new. That's the muscle straining. Don't run from it. Stay with it. Because every time you resist distraction, you grow stronger. Every disciplined effort has multiple rewards. Not just in what you do, but in who you become. Let me give you a truth that'll carry you far. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. That's why repetition matters. You want to write a book? Then you write daily. You want to build a business? Then you show up consistently. You want mental clarity and discipline? Then you train your focus every day. Because it's not what you do occasionally that changes your life. It's what you do consistently. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. That's the magic formula. Now here's something you got to hear. Multitasking is a myth. You're not doing two things well. You're doing two things poorly and exhausting yourself in the process. So stop bouncing. Stop splitting your mind in 10 directions, because divided focus creates diluted results. Focus is depth, not speed, not flash, not busyness. It's about going deep and staying there until the job is done. Want to build a strong mind? Protect it. Set boundaries. Create space. Own your schedule. Don't rent it out to distractions. Give your best hours to your best work, not to your inbox, not to social media, not to distractions disguised as emergencies. And when you build that habit, that sacred time for focused work, everything changes. Because focus isn't just about getting more done. It's about getting the right things done. You know what's ironic? We chase distractions because we want to feel better. But distraction doesn't bring peace. It brings confusion, anxiety, mental clutter. True peace comes from depth, from presence, from doing meaningful work with full attention. Work hard at your job and you can make a living. Work hard on yourself and you can make a fortune. And working on your focus, that's working on yourself. The strong mind is not the one that knows everything. It's the one that can stay on course. The one that doesn't get pulled by every notification. The one that can work through discomfort. The one that knows how to say, not now. I have something more important. And the good news? That strength is not out of reach. It's not reserved for the gifted few. It's built one decision at a time, one session at a time, one day at a time. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. So choose discipline today. Train your focus, guard your attention, and build a mind that's ready for greatness. Because once your mind is focused, there's very little you can't do. Now let me tell you something that might surprise you. Focus isn't restrictive. It's liberating. Most people think that discipline feels like a cage, like it's holding you back from all the things you could be doing. But the truth? Discipline isn't what limits you. Distraction is. The price of discipline is always less than the pain of regret. You don't need more options. You need more clarity. You don't need more things to do. You need more focus on what matters. Because once you know what matters, once you commit to it, your life starts to move forward in a powerful, unstoppable way. See, focus gives birth to clarity, and clarity gives birth to power. Let me say that again. Clarity gives birth to power. When you know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you must do next, you stop wasting energy. You stop second guessing. You stop chasing shiny distractions, and you start making progress. That's the kind of clarity that makes you dangerous. In the best way. Don't major in minor things. That's what most people do. They major in distractions. They give energy to things that don't matter. And then they wonder why their life feels stuck. But not you. Not anymore. Let me give you a picture. Imagine getting into your car. You've got a full tank of gas. The engine's ready. But you have no destination. No map. No direction. What happens? You drive in circles. You waste time. You burn energy. And eventually, you feel frustrated. That's what a life without focus feels like. Busy, but not productive. Tired, but not fulfilled. Active, but not alive. But when you bring focus into your life, everything changes. Now, you're not just busy, you're building. Now, you're not just working, you're winning. People don't realize this, but I'll say it. Peace doesn't come from doing nothing. It comes from doing the right things with intention. You know what causes stress? Too many tabs open. Too many decisions to make. Too many distractions screaming for your attention. But when you simplify, when you eliminate the non-essential, when you say no to the noise and yes to your path, that's when peace shows up. That's when focus rewards you. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. And part of that design is focus. Focus doesn't just help you work harder. It helps you work smarter. You move faster because you're not zigzagging. You get stronger because your energy is going in one direction. You achieve more because you're not wasting time starting and stopping again and again. Let me tell you, The most successful people aren't doing more. They're doing less, more consistently. They've mastered the art of saying, this is my lane. This is my goal. This is my season. And they stay there. That's not laziness. That's wisdom. That's progress with purpose. People fear missing out, so they stay scattered. But let me tell you something I've learned. If you stay focused now, you can have more options later. Discipline now creates freedom later. Focus now creates wealth later. Simplicity now creates peace later. Success is doing what the failures won't. And the failures are busy being distracted. So while they're chasing every new thing, you're building a strong foundation. And one day, your life will reflect that. Let's bring this home. If you want to change your results, change your focus. If you want to live with more peace, choose fewer priorities. If you want to become powerful in your purpose, then stop entertaining every distraction that passes by. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you do that, you'll make a fortune. Focus is the starting point. It's the force that gathers your potential and points it forward. So today, choose to protect it. Train it. Guard it. Honor it. And remember, when you master focus, you don't just get more done. You become someone the world can't ignore. Let me leave you with this. The future doesn't belong to the distracted. It belongs to the disciplined, to the focused, to the intentional. And if you want to change your life, you won't need luck. You won't need magic. You'll need something much more powerful. A made-up mind. A mind that says, enough is enough. No more wasted time. No more chasing noise. From now on, I focus. Because when you control your attention, you take back your power. You take back your peace. You take back your direction. And eventually, you take back your life. Don't let the minor things in life steal your major goals. Distraction may be easy, but it's expensive. And the price you pay is your potential. But focus pays you back with interest. It brings clarity. It brings progress. It brings a life you can be proud of. So today, make a decision. Choose to focus. Choose to grow. Choose to move forward on purpose. Because success isn't far away. It's just on the other side of your next focused day. Thank you for listening. Stay strong. Stay focused. And I'll see you at the top.